Welcome back to the channel. I'm Nick, and before we jump into this week's update, I figure I would start off with updating you guys with where we're at on our long form content, on the real technical, heavy DIY type of content that we're filming. And by the time you guys see this video, you should be seeing within a week, or maybe already seen the video of the 355 major service that I've been working on the engine installation into the car and our first fire up. Now, after that video, there's gonna be 2 more videos on that car. The video after the engine installation is going to be dedicated on synchronizing and balancing the ITBs on the car. I made just a dedicated video for that subject. There's a little bit to it. It's a little unusual. Then after that, we will have a finale video of the car, just wrapping up all the service work, doing a final road test, and all the final odds and ends that we needed to do along with that major service. Now, after that 355, I've had several cars come and go from the shop. And obviously, I filmed long-form content on those, so those are in the backlog of videos I need to edit. So, trying to remember off the top of my head, I had a early 94 Euro spec 355 come in, a exceptionally cool car, and that car actually had 78,000 miles on it, a lot of miles. So, I did a pre-service inspection on that car. It was new to the client. We gave the car a really thorough look over, the same as we did on the first 355. So that way we could plan the scope of work we're going to be doing to that car. So to say that that car is going to be getting a major service is probably an understatement. That car is going to be, I would say, this borderlines on restoration type work. So that's a very cool video because it's a very unique, well-optioned car. And, you know, it shows its age with the mileage, and there's a lot of work that we're going to be doing to it. So that's pretty cool. And that car actually ended up, so I just did the inspection. We're going to push the work off to this fall. But it ended up developing a misfire, so it did come back, and I kind of got another video on that, although I started that video when I already was in the process of diagnosing the misfire. So that video is a little bit abbreviated, but there's 2 videos there. And obviously we have the 275 GTB 4cam video. That's a cool one. So that right there, we're looking at 4 or 5 Ferrari videos in the pipeline. You guys can see that I have a pretty deep backlog. And, I almost forgot, when I had the first 355 major in, I had that car in the shop, and I also had that Euro spec early 355 in the shop. So I had a late production 99 ME 5.2 car in the shop, and an early production 2.7 car Euro spec. The other late car was an American spec car. So really 2 of the same cars. Ironically, they were both Rosa Corsa GTSs, but very different configurations. So I ended up making a video covering the differences of the 2 cars, specifically really highlighting on the differences of an ME 5.2 car versus an ME 2.7 car. So that's, again, another video. And then I have a few more odds and ends videos that I kind of just general miscellaneous stuff from around the shop. And I think for other real technical stuff on Trevor Chevelle, he's waiting on me, I'll be honest. So I need to finish up one of the last edits. Last summer we put an exhaust on the car, so that's going to be the next video on that, hopefully out real soon. And then during the, I think, Thanksgiving break, we ended up removing the engine from the car. And then during Christmas break, we disassembled the engine. And you guys can actually see I have the engine over there on the stand down to a bare block. So we have videos on all those that I need to work through and edit on those also. And he does really the rough edits on those. He does about 90%. And then once he's done, I go through, essentially grade it, give it back to him, make those changes, and then I jump back in and I'll do final touches. So on the video with the exhaust, it's really just waiting on me to make the final touches and get that finished up. I really just need to sit down, dedicate a little bit of time to it, get that finished and get that posted so we can really keep cracking on the Chevelle videos. So you guys can tell that I have a deep backlog on the videos that I need to edit. And I've had a lot of people comment mentioning that I should probably outsource the editing, that it's really slowing me down getting the videos out, editing them all myself. That is true. It is slowing me down. However, I have reservations with subletting or outsourcing the editing because specifically like the videos in the 355, they are so technical. And when I am filming, sometimes I do make mistakes or I say something wrong. And I think that if I were to give all of that footage to somebody and have them go through the edit it, they would have to have a pretty deep technical understanding of what I'm doing. And then on top of that, I would have to really spend still a good amount of time going back through the video to make sure that it's actually accurate, that I don't accidentally say something wrong, or there's parts that need to cut back out. So I think by the time you add up the expense that I'm going to have to pay and the time I'm still going to have invested going through and making sure the video is as quality as I want and technically correct, I'm just not sure. I'm not convinced that it's going to be any quicker and it's going to be another expense. And to tell you the truth, I barely make any money off of these videos at all. And if you consider the time that I put into filming them and making them, I can't justify spending somebody else to go through and edit these videos. So I'm committed. I'm still going to be working through these videos and editing them. I'm still committed to making them just as technical and in-depth and covering everything that I want to cover. It just, I need to find a faster way to film them. And I also need to find a way to, to ease the burden on editing. But I'm still committed to that. And that's really a part of why I'm making these update videos here. So that way you guys can kind of see what is currently going on in the shop, what's coming down the pipeline. And these videos are meant to be just raw, quicker, down and dirty, because the editing burden on these videos is actually quite minimal. So I can get these out quickly to you guys. You can see what's going on in the shop and still see what's coming down the pipeline. I can't stress enough, I'm still committed to the technical, in-depth, long-form videos. Those are my primary focus on the channel. These are just supplemental extras. These videos will not degrade or get in the way of our main long-form content. Now that we have covered where we're at with editing videos, let's talk about what's going on in the shop today. You can see we have a beautiful black F430 Spider. This is a 2008 Spider, and it is new to the client. He just purchased the car. It's new to our area. And we're essentially going to be going through and doing a pre-purchase inspection, or in this case, a post-purchase inspection, which is always a great idea because the car is new to him, and it's a really good idea to have somebody that knows these cars really well look over them, evaluate them, and understand what condition the car is in now, what needs it may have, and really just get a solid evaluation inspection over the car, so that way the client can start using the car and enjoy it and not have to worry about anything. So I'm a big believer in having a pre-purchase inspection done on a car before you're buying it. And I'm even a bigger believer in have that inspection done by an independent third party. So if you're buying the car from a dealership, I would not have that inspection done by that dealership, because they got skin in the game, man. It benefits them to have a car that's in great condition. So they have an incentive to tell you that it's in a great condition when it may not be. So you want to find somebody that A, knows the cars thoroughly, so just not a general mechanic, but somebody that knows 430s, and have somebody that's not involved in the deal at all inspect the car. That way, they have no skin in the game. It's no incentive for them whatsoever to tell you the car is either outstanding or a roach and you don't want to buy it. That's what you want, because you want that true, honest, unfiltered opinion. So for this particular case, this client already has purchased the car, and we're going to be going through and doing the inspection just to make sure the car is a good car, and really to get a baseline, right? We need to know what kind of condition the car is in now, if it needs anything, and what it may need, and just kind of get it up to his standards. And then from there, we'll just be able to go through the car periodically on its annual service when we're doing the oil change, get a good quick look at it, make sure that nothing has changed since this baseline we're getting today. So I think that's enough of what we got going on in this car. I'll give you guys a quick look, and you can tell that it is a beautiful car. So it's triple black, black interior, black top, black car. This is a 2008, so it is equipped with the carbon ceramics. It has our Scuderia shields on the fender. So it's a pretty well optioned car. I can tell you paint-wise, it's in great condition. And I just got back from the initial road test on the car, and this thing drives really nice. Honestly, I think it's a very nice car. So far from what I'm seeing, the client, I don't really expect to find a whole lot on the car. I might find a few things, but overall I think it's an excellent car, and I think it was a good buy for him. So I'm going to truck on, get this car inspected. As always, as we just talked, there's going to be another long form video on this inspection also, so we'll just add that to the backlog of editing. But I need to get going on this inspection, so I'll see you guys back here in a minute. Alright, so it is now Wednesday, the next day, and I just finished the inspection on this 430, and thank goodness this customer got a gorgeous car. It really doesn't need a whole lot. There's just a few things that are kind of questionable that we're going to need to keep an eye on. But although I'm done with the inspection, I am not done with the car. You can see that I have all of the engine bay trim out of the car. I have my diffuser and under tray off. I have the front under tray off. I have all the wheels and tires off. And it's going to take me quite a while to get this put back together and return it to the client, which I'm going to need to be doing today. So I still, unfortunately, have a lot of work ahead of me. It's kind of the worst part about doing the inspections on these cars is the inspection takes me, I mean, especially filming, it took me a day and a half. Filming does slow it down quite a bit. But once you get done with it, you get the car inspected, you have all your notes, you're like, man, I'm done, cool. And then you realize, man, I still have to compile all my notes, gather all my documentation, take all that information, compile it into one, get an email written up for them. And on top of that, I have to put the car back together. So still a lot of work ahead of me, but it's just the nature of the beast, and that's what we're out here doing. So just trying to give you guys a little bit of insight, because a basic pre-purchase inspection ends up burning a day and a half of work of me out here in the shop just looking over the car and documenting its condition. So there's a lot of work. Again, dedicated long form video coming on this car and on the pre-purchase inspection, which will be kind of a good resource for like a used car buyer's guide for a 430. One interesting thing we did talk about in that video quite a bit is I was talking about the carbon ceramic brakes. You can see here I have virtually a brand new carbon ceramic rotor, and I have a very worn, heavy use rotor. I spent some time talking about the difference. You can see the visual difference of the rotor, how this is really rough and heavily worn versus kind of what you're looking for on a non-track driven street use car, where it's real shiny, and this is essentially a newish rotor. The real way to tell the rotor wear on these cars is through the instrument cluster, which stores the wear percentage. There is really no thickness measurement. Some of them have a minimum weight on them, where they lose weight over time, and you have to clean them up real well and do that. But ultimately, the end-all be-all is your instrument cluster rating. So I talk about that a little bit, and really, like these rotors, you can see how rough it is. If you're running a carbon ceramic car, the rotor that rough, you're just going to be mowing through brake pads. It's so aggressive, it just chews through them really fast. And these smoother rotors are a lot easier on the brake pads. So I bring it up because it's a good indication when you're looking at a car. You can glance down at the rotors and really get an idea of their rough condition. And if you're looking at a car and you see one that's really rough like this, you might want to investigate a little bit deeper into the true condition and wear percentage of that rotor. So for this particular car, like I mentioned, it didn't really need a lot, a few small odds and ends. There's the very typical seep for the 430, kind of at the junction of the timing cover in the power steering pump area. That could be, I hate to say timing cover gasket, it's kind of the junction over the head gasket is. I talk about it in more detail in that video. But it could be that leaking, or it could be from the power steering pump. Really, the only way they determine exactly what is leaking, so we know the proper path forward, is to clean all that grease and grime off, tighten the power steering pump hose. I have to pull the power steering pump off to do so, apply leak trace powder on it, give the car back to the client, maybe for his next oil change, check it and see what that actually leak is coming from, because it could be a pretty big repair. So it's tied up there. We had excess from up in the bottom, but also up here inside the car, move the seat, I can actually pull all this trim out, and there's a metal panel that I can unbolt from the car and gives me access to the front of the timing cover, to where I can get that addressed with the engine in the car. So this one, like I said, I justify it as a normal. Pretty much every 430 is going to look exactly like this one does. So it's not good, or it's not right as in it shouldn't be leaking, but they all leak. So it's kind of like normal but not right, if that makes sense. Other than that, the rest of this car is in great shape, and the client really made out really well. The clutch wear was good. The brake wear is good. It really doesn't need anything mechanically or cosmetically other than some small sticky no more items. So some of our sticky items up here, they're starting to get sticky, so he needs to get those taken care of if he so chooses. But I would say that that is a wintertime project, not a summertime project. And the big thing on this car, guys, we wanted to get this car inspected, evaluated, and know its condition. As I mentioned, this client has already purchased it, so this is kind of a post-purchase inspection. But the big thing is he wanted to be sure that it's a good car that's worth investing into, because we're going to be converting this car from an F1 to a gated 6-speed manual. We actually have the kit on order. They're on back order currently, so I should hopefully see that kit here mid-summer. And we're going to work through and get this car converted away from the F1 system to a true gated manual Ferrari, which this client is very excited to get done. And that's going to be a great series of videos covering all that work. I'm definitely going to make that a very in-depth how-to, focused heavily on this car, much like all of my other long-form content. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. But for now, I'm going to focus on getting this car buttoned back up, so that way I can return it back to the client. Well, here we are on Thursday evening, and I have to tell you guys, my Thursday did not go how I initially planned at the beginning of the week. You can see that I have the black 430 moved in the rear position of the shop, so I finished up the inspection for it, and it's essentially sitting here waiting to go back to the client. Now, when I woke up this morning, the weather was absolutely terrible today. It was just pouring rain, incredibly windy, and just absolutely disgusting. So I initially had planned, knowing that I wasn't going to have any Ferrari work for today, and I was hopeful that I would make some headway on the fuel tanks for the jet boat on polishing those, which trying to pick up any dead time that I have. However, because of the terrible weather, I was not going to move either one of these cars that I have in the shop outside in the weather. They give me room to work on those fuel tanks. So I had to make a pivot. I ended up spending my entire day inside on the computer, which is a perk for you guys because, as I've mentioned, I have a mountain of editing that I needed to do. So I made a lot of headway on some editing, getting a lot of other videos worked through and getting them prepped. Hopefully getting them closer to being on the channel so you guys can view them. All right, so before we fully wrap up my work week out here in the shop, what do you say we hop on this 430 and get it headed back to the client's house? That was pretty simple. I have the 430 back with the client, and I say that was pretty simple because that particular client lives no more than half a mile from me, so it's pretty easy just to run the car down to his garage, and if I need to, I can just walk home, or I can walk down there and grab it and work on it whenever he needs something done. So pretty ideal situation for the both of us, but it's great that the car is back with him. It's also great that it turned out being a fantastic car. It was a very good purchase, so I'm excited for him that he got a good one. And now we have an open spot in the shop. Now, looking forward to next week, I'm not entirely sure what kind of work we're going to have in the shop. I am waiting for another car to get dropped off, and it's going to be another big project that we're going to tackle. But I don't have a commitment date, so I'm not entirely sure when that car is going to be here. Also, midweek, the family and I are heading out for vacation for the remainder of the week and into the following week. So I think my time out here is going to be a little bit limited, but you never know. We're going to just play it by ear and see what comes up and what's in front of us. But I think that's going to be all for this video, guys. So be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Get in the comments section. Let me know what you thought. And as always, guys, I appreciate your support. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys out here on the next one.